Welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know of any importance in retrospect to the channel, you can find in the description box, which means any giveaway, every time I do a reading, I let you enter into winning a free psychic reading with me. Now, the rules will always be in that description box. If I'm having a giveaway, sometimes I give away my oracle system, which is where the word of the day comes from every time I do a reading. It'll be in the description box how to enter into winning. And what's just going on within the channel. You'll also find important links, my website link, my social media links, and my Patreon link. Now, my specialty is helping people heal the effects of trauma. So my readings are all about inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and it's about soul integration. So soul integration is what we all are made up of, a spirit part of self, and the spirit part of self is God part of self. It's the universal energy. It's known as unconditional love. It's what connects us to each other. And when we're in full balance, we are in a place of ease and relax, and we are in the highest vibration of unconditional love. And we can actually enter into this state of mind, which is a consciousness, when we're doing something that we love, when we are passionate about our life, when we're interactive in life and connecting profoundly to other people through, again, what we love. So we also go through life, and our experiences make us react and respond in certain ways. And when we are responding, a lot of times from a place of fear and a place from disempowerment, we're not aware. And so what happens is these experiences play out as karmic themes that keep us either bound to a karmic mate or bound to a spiritual contract. And again, that contract could be to another person, it could be to a specific situation, one that makes us, again, we loathe. We're not happy when we're actually bound to something. See, we're all, again, made up of the spiritual energy, and the spiritual energy is supposed to be free of restrictions. Because the creative mind, there is no boundaries. There is no, if you can imagine it, you can create it. And so the problem is that when we have spiritual wounds that are created from trauma, we put restrictions on things. We detach. We then form distorted perceptions about ourselves and the world around us. And then we form behaviorisms and habits that are in alignment with those distorted perceptions. And again, we're not fully aware. We're not conscious of what it is. So this is why a karmic experience plays out. So when we're looking at your soulmate, or again, any soul family member that comes into our life, they come into our life as of something that feels like home, a person that feels like home, a familiarity, an uncanny familiarity, one that we really can't explain except for saying it feels like deja vu. It feels like I've been with this person before. This person feels like home. And there's a soul recognition. And that soul recognition actually transcends time and space. The connection between soul relationships is ESP through the heart and mind. And because it's that energy is, again, transcends time and space because it's made up of unconditional love. And spiritual energy has no restrictions. There is no such thing as time in the spiritual realm. So you are a spirit and you are living and the same type of karmic experiences in every single lifetime until you learn how to integrate into wholeness. And wholeness is, again, this unconditional love, which is of God consciousness, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, and in alignment of the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, and that energy. So today we're going to look and see how you are not in alignment with the laws of the universe through your relationship. So we do this by looking at your triggers. We look at your person's triggers. We look and see how those karmic experiences play out. Then we look and see what your inner child wounds are, how those are manifest into shadow aspects of yourself, how they play out within your behaviorisms, and what you would need to do, what you and your person would need to do to create balance. I don't predict the future because there's many different realities that play out at one time. And depending on your level of consciousness is going to determine what your actions and behaviorisms are. And so it's up to you. You are your own healer. I am just the conduit for spirit to speak, for you to create the awareness in order for you to quantum jump into the reality that you want to experience. So the word of the day that you're going to put in your comment bar, and remember, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day in your comment bar. And the word of the day is whatever the word of the video is. Now, sometimes I do many videos and the word is always different. So it's the word of the video. And the word of the video is merciless forgiveness, merciless forgiveness. And that's how we always start off the reading. Now, this is a psychic soul healer oracle system. It's my system. And it's made for healing the shadow aspect of ourselves. It comes with a 200-page, actually even like more pages. And it comes with a workbook that has over 200 different exercises in it for healing the effects of trauma. It teaches you how to do psychic readings and also can help you deepen your meditation and reflection practices. Now, healing the effects of trauma is, like I said, it's a process. So we have to first understand what is the emotion, because we wouldn't even know what we were feeling unless that's why shadow healing begins with knowing what the emotion is. And so we can get an idea of what that emotion is by looking at the trigger. And really your perception of where you are with your person, how you feel about your person, can also tell us, like, obviously we have a lot of anger inside of us, right? Then we know that we need healing. So we're going to look and just see how they are perceiving this relationship. And then we're going to look and see how you're perceiving the relationship, meaning what's going on. And then we're going to look at the triggers. I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before. So it's a soul relationship. I feel like your person feels like they don't have any control, and they've never experienced that before. I don't think that they never believed in soulmates. They never believed in. They've never allowed themselves to go this deep within a relationship before. The situation is being caused by both of us. So look at your own role in the situation to help us change it. So you both are acting like mirrors to each other. So this is telling me that it's like a soulmate twin flame relationship, that you Virgo may know what type of relationship it is because you may be more of a spiritual person is what I'm feeling, more intuitive. The person is very logical, linear, analytical, very business savvy, but not a spiritual person. So they never really got deep. They're again a business person, so they could be really phony, they could be charming, they could be a good salesman, but surface, not real. They can make you believe that they're real because they know how to get what they want. Like I said, they know how to strategize to get what they want. But when we're strategizing, we're not coming from a place of intuitive. Like when we're coming from a place of intuition, we're tapping into what the other person is feeling. There's a space of empathy where I feel like your person is pretty much a selfish person, and they tend to be more of a selfish person because they don't approach the world through, again, their senses. They do more through, again, their logic and analytical and what works best for them. They strategize. They're good in business, so their mind works that way. Communication, I care about you even when I act like I don't. I'm hiding my true feelings because I feel vulnerable. So again, they don't know how to show their feelings. They hide their feelings. And so again, that's why they don't, I feel like they try to deal with you the way that they dealt with all the other people that they dated. And I feel like they were selfish. They were player. There's player energy there. They dealt with people like, again, like a business. So they might take a person out to dinner, or they might spend time with that person, but it's almost like just you hanging out with me is a privilege, like their ego. And because from the outside, they're a good catch. They're very attractive, I feel. They make a good living. So on paper, they're all the things that you would want. But as far as real depth in a relationship, no. They could pretend, however, which tells me they were player energy. They never let anyone get close. And here it is. They're in this connection with you that they have no control over. Whoop, cards down, and we're going to take them because there's two. I feel your energy around me, and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? Again, so that ESP connection, like I was saying, transcends time and space, and even when you're separate from each other, there is a sense that you still can feel them. There still is a passion. There's still that energy, because like I said, it transcends time and space. It's lifetimes. So just because you're not talking to them now and you're in separation now, doesn't mean that they can't feel you. It's just I feel like this person is thinking of you a lot, and mainly because they are not good at expressing their feelings, but I do feel like they are sensitive where they feel things. They don't like to show that part of themselves. And the other one that fell out is, I've watched you change and grow so much. I'm trying to release my attachment to identity so I can change too. So when they first met you, they kind of, I want to say that they thought bad of you. I think that they thought you didn't like yourself. I think that they thought that they could treat you the way that they treated other people, possibly because you were very friendly and just nice. And a lot of people can see through this person. A lot of people see right through, maybe not right away, but surface people after like the third or fourth conversation, you know pretty much what you're dealing with. And I feel like you have been in this person's life for a long time, and relationships are something that happen over time. So they didn't realize that they were getting a real connection to you. So when they weren't really paying attention to how they were treating you either. Now, it doesn't mean that they weren't attracted to you. They wouldn't have talked to you at all. If they didn't have any type of connection, they just discredited the amount of a connection. They didn't treat this as a divine connection. Like I said, they treated you the way that they treated everyone else until you really like walked away. And I feel like you walked away because this person didn't really show their feelings. They tried to make you feel like they didn't really like you as much, and they also tried to manipulate their relationships. And now what they're regretting it. That was like a spill out. A spill out. Is this a sign for me to change like decks? And deck just went everywhere. It's such a big deck. It's like over 200 cards that you're like holding it and you're like, okay, hold on a second. But I just want to pull one more from this deck. And of course it wound up on the floor. And that's the way it's going to go tonight. I see. Okay, the planets are activating us to heal and bring us closer together, surrender to this change. So they feel as if I feel like they're very in tune to you. And that's these type of relationships, they're based on clairsentient. They're based on clear knowing. So there is like an energetic connection. And I feel like they can feel that at one time you might have been really mad, and maybe now they feel like you're not as mad. They feel like time as enough time. This person, now whether that's true, like to me, and that always aggravates me. Like, and I know I really shouldn't add my 2 cents in, but a person is like, oh, enough time. If anything, that makes me be even more angry. It's like, because you gave it time, but that's for your benefit. You didn't do that for me. So again, your person is very selfish. It's like, because that's a trigger for me. It's like, so you did what was best for you. Like your person knew that they didn't treat you right. In this story, Virgo, this person like knows that you're their person, but they didn't realize the depth of this connection. They thought, again, in the beginning, you were a great catch. They liked you, but they weren't willing to really make you their person. And so they treated you like everyone else, and thinking that you were going to act the same way that everyone else did. You did not act the same way that everyone else did. And so they're in separation now from you. And they've had to think about you. And there is a sense that they don't really want to say anything to you to show vulnerability because they don't know how you feel. So there's parts of them that says, yes, I can feel this person is around me. I can feel what they're feeling. But I also know logically everything that I did that you may not want to be with me. So they're in a place where I'm feeling like they're afraid. And they're afraid because there's a sense that they don't know where they stand with you. They know that now they have feelings. They didn't know that they had feelings when they were doing everything that they were doing. They thought you were an option, meaning, yes, you were good looking. Yes, there was potential there, but there was also a lot of other people. And they didn't give energy to this. So when you detach from them, this is showing that they were still like, they're watching you and still watching you from afar, and they're watching how you've changed. And part of how you've changed is you're not giving this person the time of day. And they see that, but they didn't see it when you did it. They see it as you released them. So I want to see like what you feel Again, what wounds, what shadows did this bring out in you? Because clearly this person um, knew that you were great, didn't want to give the attention during that time, gave it to a lot of other people, knows what they did is wrong, but knows that also that there's a deep connection here. Was afraid to say something, so has avoided, but feels like, well, in the right time, I'm going to come back. And that's when enough time has gone by that they don't feel like you'll remember everything the way that it really went down, so that they can kind of sugarcoat it, so that they can try to, and this person is a business person. The way that they approach it is probably not going to be as empathetic as you want. And they also know that it's like they're afraid of that, because I feel like you've had conversations with them before about how they've had conversations about not really showing that they care, being surface, downplaying what they do. So there's a sense that they also know that you've had it, because the way that you just kind of detach from them, you did it very classy, and they're not used to that. They're used to, again, triggering people because they act like they don't give a shit. So what did it bring out in you? Queen of my world. It made you detach and just kind of be like, well, I'm stuck in the way that normally this could be a negative card, but it's not a negative card for this situation, because Queen of my world is queen of my beliefs, queen of my perception. And so it's like, I'm gonna like stay in that frame of mind, that belief system, because I know I'll get what I want, is what I'm feeling, even if it's not from you. They never expected that. They expected you to chase, they expected you to argue, they expected to get some sort of resistance, which would make them not have to feel, which would actually justify why they act the way that they do, that they don't want to open up. But what you did was you were classy and you detached. You said, well, I'm going to stay queen of my world, where staying in your perception on how you want your relationships to be is not wrong. It's 100% right. It shows that you had confidence. I feel like sometimes it's a spiritual test, however, because this person is a soulmate. There is a lot of passion there. But this person didn't expect you to do that. And I also feel like queen of your world is that you never really felt like you fit in before. And so this brings up a little bit of loneliness, but it's safe. And there's a sense of, I don't want to be connected to someone that I feel like I have to like feel safe. So if anything, I think that this person was hoping that you were going to chase, and it completely backfired. I won't cry for you. Like, yeah, like you're like, no, I like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna stand my ground, and I'm gonna be like, again, won't cry for you. And I felt that. I felt like you were like, no, I'm detaching from you. But this person didn't expect you to do that, like I said. So I want to see what their shadows are now that you wounds. Let's look at their wounds and see, like, again, what, because you didn't do that. Or really, I'm like it too. I do the wounds or the inner child wounds. It's like I feel like we need to do both. So we're gonna go to nostalgia and grief and loss. But I want to also look at the inner child wounds and see how it all ties in together, because let's see, like, what did this bring out with this person? Because I feel like this was a karmic test for you, that you were like, nope. Because they definitely expected you to act different. Okay. protection. Card down. Naive, naive, trauma. So I feel as if, of course, like your person is like looking back and remembering like all the little conversations that you have, and they're really like in a place of nostalgia because what they're realizing is that this was a real friendship. It wasn't just attraction, that they had just really undermined the relationship. So they're in a place of grief and loss right now. So really they separated themselves. So they sabotaged themselves because of their trauma. There's a part of them that was, naive to believe that you were going to stick around. But I think because they never had such a deep connection with someone like you before, that they thought and how nice you were and how giving you were, and they can feel like that, you're opposite of them. They're very mental and strategic and businesslike, and you're very intuitive and sensitive and sweet and loving and kind and just empathetic, that they just felt like you were going to take it and take it and take it because you talked to them the whole time that they were talking to other people. And so I feel like this person was in and out of your life. They breadcrumb, they didn't give a lot. And because every time that they were leaving, you might be like, well, I didn't really talk to them that much. If every time they reached out to you and you talked to them for an hour or however long they wanted to talk to you, that was too much. Or every time they reached out to you and you talked to them for longer than 5 minutes, well, what they were saying is, I can come in and out of your life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because every time I come back, you don't yell at me, you give me the same amount of time. So you're an option. So again, they treated you like everyone else. But they did this mainly because they were protecting their heart. There's a part of them that doesn't really trust who they are. And they tend to they're trying to figure out why their relationships go the way that they do. They're also trying to figure out whether they want to be in a relationship, because I feel like your person got tired of the constant loss, abandonment. So there's a sense of also like, what is their inner child wounds is really, like I said, but it's friendship. It's like needing to be a friend. There's a sense of them not knowing, looking at, realizing that a relationship isn't just based on love and it isn't based just on sex, is what I'm trying to get at. Like that love that's just passion, which is in the bedroom, it's also based on like friendship. There's grief and there's loss because this person never really opened up. They played a lot of games to manipulate the situation, really. And then they sabotaged the relationship to the point that they sabotaged the relationship to a point that now they're in a place of trying to figure out how to fix it, but inevitably bringing them to a place of having to heal, because it brings them to a place of trauma, of their original trauma. And their original trauma is like, comes from, wanting to protect themselves. So never really letting anyone in, never really opening up your heart. We have to start in a place of friendship, really. What is a relationship? A relationship, any type of relationship should be a friendship. If it's, a boyfriend, girlfriend, if it's an intimate relationship, the base of it, the foundation of it, because that means there's respect, that means that there's trust, means that you're not going to have a hard time compromising. It's not going to be such a struggle. When there's friendship, there's trust, there's intimacy issues here. And so, but I feel like you had intimacy issues, but by you actually recognizing that this person wasn't giving you actually was like, no, I'm going to do the right thing. And that again kept this person, like, brought them back to a place of their trauma, really having to look at their trauma. So I just want to see like what they plan on doing. And really what the hidden truths are. Like, I mean, because just because they played a lot of games, but they could be too prideful to even want to fix it, or they could want to fix it, or they could again be up in their mind so much and want to fix it but not do anything about it. So let's look and see, so that we can see how we could balance this relationship out if they want to fix it and if you want to fix it. It's just because someone is in a soul relationship doesn't necessarily mean they're supposed to be in our life. Sometimes they just came into our life to teach us, or and in this case, you taught them because you didn't fall for their little like game. I lost myself for a while. Yeah, like I feel like it was like you made them have to look at themselves. Whenever someone has a big ego and they assume that, the person that they like or have feelings is going to act a certain way, and then they don't act that way, it's kind of like a bitch slap. It's the first like sign that there's a little bit of your karma. So it made this person have to change, or at least look at themselves, I should say. I know I was a distraction from your pain. See, again, this person feels like you gave them the time because you weren't getting what you needed from your life, because they're like, I really didn't give you anything and I never really promised you. I feel like this person is trying to like backtalk why they treated you the way that they did. They know that they treated you bad, but they're trying to like, when someone tries to make it less, like this person is trying to justify and make it less. Like, well, like you were in pain before, I just kept you company, I talked to you, like they're trying to downplay it, but they know that they gave double messages. They know if you would have jumped and said, yeah, let's be in a relationship, they would have been in a relationship, but then never giving you anything. They know exactly what they were setting this relationship up for, and why you were like, no, I'm not going to cry for you, peace out, I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to be like empress of my own world. I'm going to create my own world, because it showed confidence. They didn't think that you had it in you. My life is not as together as it seems. So this person tried to act more confident because they wanted you to believe that they were strong. I believe that this person somehow was taught like being like an asshole was being like strong. And I say it like that because they were really coming from their place of ego, trying to strategize this relationship, trying to get you to like undermine yourself. And now they have regret, and but they're also delusional, because they think that that this is a soul relationship somehow is going to magically fix itself without them really putting in the energy, because they're not putting in energy, they're trying to justify their actions. So they're not ready to really fix this. Not in a way that it would create a strong enough foundation. This person always leaves a little wiggle room, it feels like, to not have to really commit. themselves. And so one more, the time just wasn't right for us. So it's again, and really, I think that you know that the time was never going to be right while they were like that. I think that this person wants to justify a lot of things instead of really look at the relationship. So we have to say then, why did you connect to a person like this? What are your wounds? What were you supposed to get out of this, aside from passing the karmic test? Because you clearly passed it. And now this person's eating the karma, but why? What would you need to heal in order to not attract the same type of energy, Virgo? This is what we want to know, because again, when we have a wound, the karmic theme will play out again in another relationship until we fully integrate it. And that means do something different so we see a different outcome, so we get to see ourselves differently. Can this person try to make you undermine yourself and put up with whatever they gave, and then now they're in regret, but they're not comfortable to really surrender their ego to come back and apologize. They want to justify their behavior. So there's a sense of, okay, like if you have feelings for this person, like almost feeling as if you, like, hey, that wasn't fair or right that happened. So we want to know, like, what was the wound? What were you supposed to get out of it? How are you supposed to heal, really? So there's wisdom and knowledge. And so when we go through a relationship, right, and that isn't, or when we honor ourselves, we see a different outcome. So but I feel like some of you are seeing a different outcome where you're attracting better people into your life already. You may again be entering into like better luck, wisdom, and knowledge when it's of a higher energy, like that spiritual energy. It's rooted in unconditional love. So you become a magnet to unconditional love, meaning you pull in things that you have a love and a passion for. Because it's almost the way that the universe gifts you. It's a way that the universe comprises to bring you not only what is going to make you see yourself different, but something that's going to heal you. Unconditional love heals you. So seeing that, but you have to let go of what's no longer served first, which you did because you were like, no, I'm not going to cry for you. I don't want this. I let it go. So you got knowledge and wisdom from it, which isn't a wound, it's actually a gift, meaning that you integrated it. And then narcissism, of understanding what a narcissist looks like. So a lot of times we're not aware of the signs of a narcissist, especially when there is a soul connection. We can really be blinded by that soul connection. So I feel like you learned how to deal with a narcissist. And that could be that you had a wound and a fear that you would attract a narcissist. Maybe you were brought up with a narcissist parent or dated a narcissist before this person. So you keep dating narcissistic people. So in order for you to break that chain, you had to again say, no, I'm not going to go back with you. No, I don't want this relationship anymore. And like I said, this was a very strong spiritual bond. Your person didn't really think that it was going to happen. They didn't want to be vulnerable. So they didn't want to be your friend. They knew that friendship would create more intimacy and they would lose control because there's real feelings there. And the narcissist always has to play it that they are in control. Fear of abandonment because of the fact that they don't like who they are. And so when you left this person really, like I said, was shocked, but it made them look at themselves and really they have to look at their trauma. They have to deal with their trauma because they already see that they keep creating the same experiences within their life. I don't think they ever cared before, but they do with you. Now that's the first step for them to truly heal. And for you, one more message that maybe some knowledge that the universe has. What else can we do to make ourselves feel better? What's the affirmation? Because it's good, that fact that you let go to let that new and more abundant energy come into your life. But it's also like, what else? Is there any other gifts that the universe has or tidbits of wisdom? And that is the divine fruit. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundation. My intellect is light, my heart is warm, and my soul is strength. I am nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. So what it is that when you let go of narcissistic people, those are people that want to control. Those people control for their benefit. They're parasites because they drain energy to the point that we can't really cultivate our own gifts. So we can't even find our gifts sometimes, right? We may know what our gifts are, but they take time to develop. We may know what we want to do, but it takes time for us to actually cultivate our path and to like learn our gifts, to apply them while we're on the path. So what this is saying is, it's like letting go of this. This was definitely, this person was part of your evolution, and it gave you wisdom, and that really is the divine fruit. And that in that it reflects it reflects the fact that you love yourself, and that is really the foundation, because that's what it says here. I strengthen my foundation, and your foundation is your connection to yourself, your connection to God and the God that's inside of you, and your connection to the earth. If you're so like caught up in this person and they're caught up in their trauma, then you're caught up in their trauma and you are no longer grounded. So like I said, this was definitely a part of your spiritual evolution. They were. And in that, you passed the karmic test. And I feel like you left them in a place of where you're the one that got away, but you're also the one that created a lot of awareness within inside of them and took down that wall, that ego, because their ego was so big that they gambled with this relationship by breadcrumbing it, not honoring it, treating it like you were always going to be there, that in the end, it backfired. It backfired. So this is a prime example of when you make someone that dishonors you eat their karma. Because as said, they show that they don't care, but they do. They care a lot. And I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. If you resonated with this, let me know. And I will see you all soon. Bye.